because we delve into matters we believe we should delve into so as to ensure the development of our dear nation. And that's what we will be doing this hour. Remember, I told you earlier that we were supposed to have a conversation, but the conversation was shifted, so we had to cancel. And I have now, come up with a makeshift conversation, but I think I like this conversation way better. You're welcome. You're welcome. I do appreciate you for tuning into this frequency, 92.3 Nigeria Info. I am Kalada Kurubatibo, and welcome to Hard Fact, right? That's what we're doing right now, Hard Fact. We're live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, and we are active on X, Nigeria Info PH. You could also follow me. I'm active on social media, DKalada, THEKALADA. You can start dropping your WhatsApp messages. The number is 0809 0306 Remember, call time now when you do call in is 2 minutes, so try to wrap your thoughts within 2 minutes, or else I would have to cut you off. Now, I didn't make the decision, you all made the decision, so let's abide with the decision, right? So what's my topic? My topic is about the Rivers allocation. A couple of days ago, 2 days ago to be precise, on Wednesday, we spoke with a banker, a banking stakeholder in Rivers State, and we tried, to see the financial, or should I say, the implications from a banking perspective. The judgment of the Federal High Court by Justice Abdul Malik, restricting funds from the CBN and funds from banks that Rivers State's government is banking with. Now, for a while we spoke about the CBN, forgetting that, or ignoring, or should I say, we were unaware that Zenith and Access Bank were amongst the banks copied, or amongst the defendants in that judgment. And what that means is the IGR that we have been touting to be what the government may use to pay salaries may also be affected. Now, of course, it is politics, it is law, there may be a loophole somewhere, I do not know. I'm not going to speak on behalf of the government. We would watch and see, or wait and see. There could be a stay of execution, there could be a judgment from the Supreme Court, like our previous guests on previous sessions have told us. All of these things I've mentioned may just be avenues with which respite could come to civil servants and contractors in Rivers State. But that's not my focus right now. My focus is labor. For a while I've thought, and I do think, if I remember vividly, that on the Morning Crossfire, one of the sessions, Andrew Ifeimi had a conversation with Labour in Rivers State as to reactions to the Federal High Court judgment. And of course, they said they were going to react and they were not going to stand still and watch civil servants suffer. Joe Ajero now is the president of the NLC, and he is visiting Rivers State as of now. Of course, he commissioned. I think he commissioned. I'm looking for the right way to describe it. I can say commissioned the unveiling of the compressed natural gas buses, by the federal government in collaboration with Labour. But you see, when he came in and was making his speech, he said, Labour is not going to sit idly and watch Rivers State workers suffer. Because what this means, once again, like I was trying to ask my guest 2 days ago, if the judgment is saying any money belonging to the Rivers State government, now let's circle that that statement, or that part of the statement, any money by Rivers State government, it means that salaries may also be affected, except maybe the court will find a way to release salaries to workers. I do not know. I'm not the court. I'm not going to play interpreter for the court as well. But if that is the case, it means that civil servants will not have money, and so they cannot go to the market. And if they cannot go to the market, they cannot buy what you're selling, and it may affect to some extent, the economy of the state. And Labour is saying we will not sit idly and watch that play out.
While we are not going to go into jurisprudence or the position of the judiciary, the NLC is also advising the judiciary not to go into a journey of self-destruct. Part of the suffering we are passing today was part of the injunction given by the NIC that we should not protest. That injunction has kept the country suffering. Rivers State is among the states that where workers collect their salaries as at when due. Anything that will make their salary delayed for a day, we will all jointly fight it.
So they will jointly fight it. However, there is the industrial court judgment saying they cannot protest. So I'm wondering how they want to go about this in the first place. In first question, how do you think Labour, because it's coming from Georgia, it's not from the state now, it's a national issue, and I'm guessing it's going to be a national protest if they were going to protest, or a national fight if they were going to fight. How do they say it again? An injury to one is an injury to all, right? So if that is the case, what strategy do you think, Labour, for those of you, of course, who are in support, for those of you, I don't know how to coin the question, but hopefully either side of the fence can answer to the question I want to ask right now. For those of you who are listening, how do you think Labour can fight these fights to the benefit of Rivers State? Because Labour as a union, is saddled with the responsibility to fight fights like this. Correct me if I'm wrong. They are saddled. I know some people say, why is Labour trying to delve into this political situation? But in all honesty and earnesty, this is concerning Rivers workers, because they will be the most affected. When you check the budget, there is what we call recurrent expenditure, and there's what we call capital expenditure. And in recurrent expenditure, you find things like salaries. And so if you say they cannot access monies, that means they cannot fund the recurrent expenditure. So Rivers workers will be most affected. So Labour is most concerned. How do they go about fighting this? How do they go about making sure that, Rivers State, not politics now, not politics, but Rivers State comes out better? Because once again, that is the strategy. But let's say they do embark on a protest. Would you be supporting such a protest, to ensure that Rivers State is not starved of funds? That's the conversation I want to have this hour, and I hope that you oblige and you join me as we talk for development, because I love to talk for development, and it's a Friday edition. So let's get the talks and the conversations rolling, all of it. So I will call out the call numbers now. I'm excited about this conversation, and I don't even know why. Well, let's call out the numbers now. 0817-923-0002 and 0817-923-0003. There is the other number, 0817-923-007. We do have a commercial coming up in about 60 seconds time, so I want you to get the numbers, get yourself ready, get your thoughts ready. Let's share opinions on the show. And once again, would you be supporting the NLC to fight for Rivers allocation? What do you think is the best strategy? Do you think, I don't know, I'm not going to put quite a thought in your head, because I've got a series of questions usually. Like I would always say, my head is usually a mess. I'm thinking from all sides and all perspectives. Well, let's leave it for you to do the answering to these two big questions I'm asking you. What strategy should NLC use? And would you be supporting whatever strategy they come out with? If it's a protest, would you go out on the streets to say, we no go agree, we no go agree, give us money, we no go agree? All right, commercial coming through, and after that, you and I will talk some more. To stay tuned. Thank you for staying with us as we paid those bills there. It's time for us to hear your thoughts and opinions on the matter that I've laid bare before you. What do you think? Are you going to fight alongside NLC? What strategy do you think will be a best strategy to help resolve? Now, we're not looking at it from political perspectives now. We're looking at it from, labor as a union, all right? Labor as a union. Labor fighting for River State workers, which indirectly, or should I say, is indirectly proportional to fighting for River State. Okay, so let's get your thoughts. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0007. Those are the call numbers. WhatsApp number for WhatsApp messages 0809-0306416. Now let's take a listen to this first.
And opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info, let's talk.
All right, I'm going to the phone lines now. Let's start with, I've got a lot of messages. Should I start with messages first? Because I've been accused of reading messages towards the end of the show. Okay, let's see. What message do I have here? Let's start with this one. This one says, the governor can conveniently pay Rivers State civil servants monthly salaries of never decreasing 7 billion naira from the state, 27 billion naira monthly IJR with or without federal allocation. Therefore, Mr. Ajero has no business in River State. Okay, but I don't know if you heard the part where I said if the interpretation of that judgment means that any money belonging to River State government cannot be spent until there's an appropriation bill before the House of Assembly is led by Martin Amule, then I don't know. I think he would not be able to pay salaries, right? But this is Labour is not a serious union. It's the Rivers Assembly leadership fighting NLC. How does Labour expect a teacher or a doctor in Ekiti, for example, which is an APC governed state, to proceed on strike because the court gave an injunction against the PDP-led state government? Did the APC states ask the Rivers legislative and executive arms to start this unnecessary and unending fight? Labour is just looking for a way to cash out. Uzoma Chima. But what do they say, Uzoma? An injury to one is an injury to all, right? That's what they say. But let's look at this one. This one says, I support the position of the NLC on this matter. Politics and law often dismiss morality. How can courts resolve disputes fairly without considering moral implications? What should be the glory of the judiciary when the issue of morality is dismissed? I think those who dispense the rules of law should not be manipulated by any man. They should learn to leave some foundations of laws which democracy will consequently grow on. Man is not meant for law, the law is meant for man. You cannot suffer the entire society because of whatever interest. Actor Christopher with that one. All right, this one says, Adaya says NLC should go all out for this because I thought the old fight in River State was all about the imaginary structure they said was being taken. Is the state money and allocation part of the structure too? How come now it's looking like it is all about Rivers money? The politicians should develop some shame and get a job. So even after they have left office, they can still have a life. Adaya put Harkett with those thoughts. I want to get your reactions to that as well. Let's see. This one says, good afternoon, Kalada. Wale from Woji Town. I think the NLC should compel River State Governor to obey the rule of law Aside this, any solidarity moves against the rule of law will ground Rivers State. Okay, I see the arguments now. Audition says NLC president is right because Rivers State workers are members of labor and injustice to them is an injustice to all second. But, in order for us not to get to the juncture where violence becomes a tool, to fight these fights of Rivers allocation, how do you think Labour can come in? How do you think Labour can help? What strategy should they use? And would you be standing alongside Labour? 0817 923 0002 0817 923 0003 and 0817 923 0007 92.3. What is your name and where are you calling? Okay, Clinton, your time starts now. Let's get your thoughts.
Hello, Canada.
I say your time starts now. Let's get your thoughts. 2 minutes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's very unfortunate that Rivers State is in this kind of a precarious situation. A situation that our workers will be affected. Yes, Labour is saddled with the responsibility of making demands of protecting the interests of the Nigerian workers. Rivers workers, as the case may be now. But Labour, I believe Labour have also failed because there was a time, there's even a window now to solve this problem. And that window is just for the budget to be represented. And I think that the Labour Union can prevail on the governor to look at the judgments that have been delivered so far. About 3 of them.
Yeah, but really, does it concern Labour? Because I heard Joe Ajero saying he doesn't want to involve himself in jurisprudence. That means he doesn't want to get involved in, the legal aspect of it. And I understand why. He's not a lawyer. So whether the government has done the right thing or not, that's before the courts. The courts will argue it. The lawyers will argue it. The judges will make decisions. But, what concerns Rivers workers with all of that? That's the question he's asking.
Kalada. Now that Labour wants to make demands, I want to protest, agitate now. When there is a substitute judgment, they're referring that this is done. And if it's not done, that means you're not operating on nothing, like you're doing operating on nothing. So why can't Labour prevail on the governor? Why are they not coming out to make demands now?
So since follow me now, Clinton. Since the executive arm has not, according to the court, done what it's supposed to do, and the legislative arm is waiting for it to do what it's supposed to do, that means the civil servants should go home and allow the leaders sort themselves out, or maybe dance on the streets for some time. I don't know if you agree. Is that?
That's why I said, Kala, that we're in a very precarious situation.
Oh, okay. All right.
Our workers will be affected as well. Most of the workers will be affected.
All right.
But this is like the inaction of the executive doing what they are supposed to do. This is the reason why Nigerian workers will suffer. So I think Labour can actually go a long way and discuss with our governor. The president is for us, please can return to Rivers State.
All right. Thank you, Clinton. I've got to go. Your time is up. I've got Steve from D-Line. Your 2 minutes starts now. Welcome.
Yesterday, when they town hall meeting, that should give us enough time to talk now. Today has been terrible, though.
2 minutes. Go ahead. Your time starts now.
Let's go. The Labour Ajero, with my own is point of appeal, because what happened to Imo State, and what happened to him in Imo State, and he was able to handle it, and heaven did not fall. This is Rivers State. This issue did not start now. I want to appeal to him. We don't want more fire. Because somebody around from Imo State already putting fire into this state. Let him just take it easy. Follow the rules of law. Let's see what's going to happen. Nobody should die. No property will be damaged. So let us take it easy.
When you said he should take it easy, what strategy are you having in mind?
Now I know that civil servants has a lot of check-off view. That is the first part of call to protect his check-off view. That is first is protecting. And I'm sure by the grace of God, nobody is going to seize anybody's salary. God is going to work for us.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
So you should take it. You should not go and put more fire. I think maybe because what happened to him in Imo State, that we are all aware. Nothing happened. He landed when I come back.
All right.
The other person from Imo State is here. So they should allow Rivers State this sometimes. Thank you very much.
Steve is looking at the best possible option, and he's saying, God willing, there will be no seizure of salaries. But let's listen to Susie from Alakaya. Susie, welcome. What is on your mind? I like to hear.
Hello, good day.
Yeah.
Yes. Those who actually manifests the labor movement. I agree with Marx, Engels, and all of that. As at that time, they did not throw up towel or throw over towel in law. They also agree with the law. But at that time, the labor movement was actually the issue of industrialization, trying to contend with what we have today. The artificial intelligence as insinuated many years ago. But today we are talking about law as it is in the state. I raise an eyebrow when people begin to bring morality into law and politics. These are different individuals. And in the essence of it, it is actually the law that is taking the prominent and that is absolute in the state of politics and the state of morality.
Susie, sorry, permit me to ask a question.
Yes.
I work as a for governments in addition, the executive level seven that would have to answer the question, Labor, I could ask.
I understand what you're saying, but the what is actually different between effect and cost. What is affecting labor today, so to say, the workers in Rivers State, is a cost. I argued this with you the other day when you were asking me, how do I think? The labor will have to focus on what of the governor.
All right, Susie, I've got to go. Talk to the governor, you said. Judge from Buguma, welcome. What is on your mind? Let's...
Salaries meant for workers.
The courts are the courts. Isaiah Judge, the courts are the courts. I'm not going to question the courts, right? If you have a problem with it, you appeal. That's how it is.
Brother, let me tell you, the lawyers, the chief judge, the judiciary, they eat, and in fact, the modus of the work is because of, at the end of the day, they must go home with money. Are you not in this country when judges' houses were searched and we saw some amount of dollar and some levels of denomination found in their homes? So the beginning and ending of this world that we are is the next is you went to this school, acquire all the knowledge with money, and you are coming back expecting to also make an end meet at the end of the day. It's the same money. You are working, what you are expecting at the end of the day is your wages being paid back to you because you have labored for. That is what the NLC is talking. The NLC is not saying that the law should not take its course, but it is not on this very matter because every day as we speak now, the NLC goes to work. They are their duty posts. So at the end of the day, you now bring one kangaroo, one obnoxious, and one selfish, one-sided, one law that is.
All right, thank you very much, Judge. Your time is up. Mira from Okrika, welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear from you. Welcome. Hello, Muriel, are you there?
Yeah, actually,
all right. Yeah, good afternoon. Your time starts now.
Oh, you've been.
I've been great. Come.
Talking about law. They have sisters stop working for the local government. They have brothers who are in the local government. So for them, doing all these things is not good. And I know the court will not stop local government allocation. It's not work. So you fuck people, you eat 3 times. You get the local government to affect the market. No, those who are doing business. So we think like we are doing something. Please, not for only one man's sake. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Ida from Inkoro. Thank you for your talk about the WhatsApp messages. Shows me I do have tons of messages. I would also go to the Facebook platform and also X to read messages there. Well, let's see this one. This one says, how can NLC fight the decision of the Federal High Court except to usurp the power of the Court of Appeal and set aside that decision? Okay, so how can it happen? The lawmakers who said the case are supposedly representing you and I, people, right? So if the NLC backed by Rivers people, I believe they will listen. 2 days ago we talked. Was it 2 days ago? 2 days ago we talked about court of public opinion. So that can play a role in all of this. And so I'm wondering what your thoughts are. I'm really, really wondering what your thoughts are. But let's go to the phone lines. I've got God's Time from Onelga. God's Time, welcome. 2 minutes starts now. Let's get your thoughts.
Canada, good afternoon. The NLC might try to protect its workers by agitating or wondering why the seizure or why court has issued a judgment on the seizure of Lagos State allocation. For me, I think the NLC should understand that this is law and law will take its course. I think the best thing the NLC needs to do, if they are willing to help Rivers State government, is to advise the governor to do the needful. I think they have successfully appealed the judgment in Supreme Court. They should wait for the outcome. Though I am not happy because the civil servant might be left without salary.
Okay.
But I think in governance there is no vacuum. And I believe definitely that there will be a way out to pay River State workers. So the NLC should back out, and if they want to help, they should be adjoined to the appeal being filed by River State government. Ajay, I know he's doing his work, but I understand that he's in River State as well to do the needful, just like the rest has been doing, like Ugochiere from Imo State. They should understand that the law will take its course, and the law is superior.
All right.
You can't do emotion with the law. The judges doesn't judge with emotions. So Governor Similaye Fubara should wait and listen to Supreme Court. If the outcome in Supreme Court favors them, better. But if it doesn't, definitely River State civil servant will be paid. Thank you, and do have a smart day.
All right, thank you. So I'm going to listen to Court. Court is calling from Uniport. Court, welcome.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening. Yeah, in as much as a laborer deserves wages, because if I'm a laborer, I work for it 30 days, you do not pay me. I work another 30 days, you do not pay me. I have right to demand mine.
Okay.
And the only language that I meant is part of the war is language right. But I don't see the list of labor winning the war, because that I see different factions from labor. They will not speak in one voice. They will not believe in justice and before. It is very easy for government to do that. But again, for those of us who are saying return B, do you think the return that will
that took that to court? I even want them not to receive payment for months. Let the governor allow them for some time. Let me see if they call for meeting, if people will still go. All right. Success Luke says, in the first place, for someone who claims he loves his people to go to court, restraining FG from sending allocation to Rivers State is totally unacceptable, because one cannot take his personal life with the entire state capacity. The sufferings of Rivers people is order is implemented, and also go ahead, because hunger is a respecter of no man. All these drugs is selfish interest against the people of Rivers State. All right, that's what we have on WhatsApp. We've got quite a few messages there as well. NLC Chairman and advisor warned before now about Governor Hope Uzodinma to resist the temptation of mixing politics with Labour. He gave this advice when the Labour achieved. Okay, we're going to skip hard. I said last night I heard learned his lesson there. Labour should pressure the governor to obey court order and save Rivers people. All these unnecessary stress. If he's ignored, 2025 budget appropriation will be presented to a three-man assembly, thus making a nonsense of court order. The February to Rivers people not to board court order salaries would be paid. Signals view direct revenue payments to other banks not in the court order. No state will agree to go on strike because of Rivers politics. That one. All right, and this one says that government can handle this inhuman by opening another account in other banks and borrow as much as he can. The withholding wouldn't be forever. He who holds what belongs to a child will surely bring his hands down one day when his hand starts aching. If we don't watch these judges, one day one judge will declare the dissolution of this country, and you will tell me it is a judgment, and indeed it will be a court judgment. That never ends. But he said the judgment is like saying the state is no more part of the federation. This allocation, the basic federating state is a constitution. If you guys, you should be most political children from the consequences of the wrongdoing. As you remember, voted the governor into these unnecessary readings in disregard for laws, and the court will not be talking of such court judgments restraining the release of funds to the River State government. With that one. Oh my. And let's see, many more messages. I'll go to just give your messages. So I'm going to. You said the allocation can be stopped. I disagree with you. We've been told by several lawyers, both for and against, that the only way the allocation will not be stopped if there is persecution. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But it's not wrong. NLC, its members' interest in supporting the stoppage of allocation to River State is expressing wickedness to the entire River State. Just to read from Omudga. I would have to pause now. There is a commercial coming through, but after the commercial, we'll talk some more. This time, we'll presentations to stay tuned.